Hey guys, welcome back. It's Cameron Lyons. This is another Project Life Process video, and this one is going to be week 8 of 2018. I'm working with the backside of that page protector from before. It has the six 3x4s on it, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a different arrangement. So this picture here is a picture of my eye, and it's actually a really funny story. But to start off, I just cut it down to 3x3, and I'm going to paste it onto the back of my journaling card from last week because there's an empty white space. So I decided I could reuse that quite nicely. So the story with this is that that's a picture of my eye, and my eyes are hazel. And my boyfriend and we went on a walk, and I don't know how we got on the topic, but he was like, "Oh yeah, your brown eyes are really pretty." And I was like, "What? My brown eyes?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "My dude, my eyes are hazel." So I thought it was kind of funny to document that. Like obviously it was, I don't know, it was just really funny that he thought my eyes were brown for some reason when I think they're pretty greenish, so I wanted to include that story there. So, uh that pinkish filler card is the one I've chosen to be my title card since I wanted to have the picture in that top left-hand corner along with the journal card beside it. So I'm going to stamp the two dates on these journal labels, and I stamped a bunch of these labels from my mom's Kelly Perky label stamp set, so I could have them on hand. So I just stamp one date and the other date on two separate labels in black that I am going to cut out and then place on that card. And it kind of messed me up a little bit because I was really getting into the rhythm of having the 4x6 and then like the 3x4s beneath it and the 4x6 being the title card. So it just kind of interrupted the flow when I was working on this. I still think the spread ends up looking really good. It's just different than the other ones, and that's why I was a little off put by it at first. So I decided it looks a little too plain, so I pull over the Studio Calico Candyland, I think, chipboard set, and I tried a couple of them, and I end up going with this kind of yellowish heart because I think it kind of matches the yellowish from that sunrise picture, and I think that adds the perfect embellishment. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those labels on, and then also add a staple for embellishment. So that filler card is from Ali Edwards Detail Story Kit, I believe, and I really like the pink. It matches um, the rest of the colors on the spread. So again, not the normal 4x6 title card, but I still think it looks pretty cute. So I'm just making sure everything is centered in the way that I want it, and then determining how many staples I should add. And I end up adding a staple to that heart, but I don't have that right now. Um, so next thing I'm going to do is pull over my white pen, and I want to journal on that card. And I end up journaling around my legs are like tucked underneath a blanket and poking up, so I journal around it. And I think it looks good and it tells a story of that card that I want to tell. But then I noticed in the top left hand corner, my boyfriend's elbow kind of like is in the bottom right of the photo, and I'm like, oh, I could journal on that. So I decide to go ahead and do that. And then once I'm done that, the two pictures are too similar looking, like with the dark and the white journaling going in the direction it is. They're two the same, and it's not really sitting well with me. And so you'll see I end up changing it later, but for now, I leave it. I know something's wrong that I'll have to change it later, but I just end up leaving it for now. And I want to journal something on this photo, but I'm not sure exactly what to say. So I leave it and go to some journaling that I know I want to do. So if you see that card that's beside the photo right now, it says just the two of us. I really wanted to leave that there because it's the back of one of the other cards from the other spread, but it wasn't really, like, the colors were a little bit off and I wanted a place to journal. So unfortunately, it didn't end up making it, but I chose this one. Says we're better when we're together, which is the pink color, and I think it's nice that I got some extra journaling in there. So I find out what I want to write on this picture of the sunrise with the frost, and I journal it, and I like how I have the white in three places, but I still don't like how those two on the left side of the page are so similar. So I'm thinking of something I can do to fix it. And I also don't really like how the writing turned out on that frost picture. My pen, like, it was skipping a little bit when I was writing, so it's not as smooth as I would like, and it's not as bold as I would like. So I'm going to end up changing that one as well. So I'm just going to do some quick journaling about uh, that photo that's going to be to the left of this journaling card. And I stamped the date in the bottom left hand corner so I would remember it. Otherwise, it would just be random journaling with no date. So I should stamp the date on more photos, I think. I don't do that a lot, but I'll work on it. And now for this card, I decided I want to do, I saw Amy Gretchen do something like this where she divided a card into 7 pieces and then did a Monday, Tuesday, and all the days of the week on it. So I did that like kind of layout card to get the right divisions so I could do my final card here. But I'm using this ruler, but it's not like lined up properly. So when I draw the lines, it's not straight at all. And I really don't like how it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and try again on the back side of it. And I'm going to be like, not use the ruler at all. I'm just going to wing it. And it ends up being more straight, I think, than before. And then to stamp the days of the week, I'm going to pull over my Stampin' Up! Project Life stamp set. Back in the day when Stampin' Up! And Project Life kind of had a partnership. And I'm going to tape over the day part so I can just have the mun, twos, wind, whatever, all that stuff. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm such a genius. I'm going to just cover it up. And then when I stamp, it won't show up. But I forgot to take the tape off. So I had extra ink on it. And I decided I was just going to turn my camera off and stamp it so I wouldn't embarrass myself. So here is the finished project when I stamped all the days of the weekend. I really love how that looked. And I printed off those 2 photos again so I could redo that journaling that I wasn't happy with. So yeah, I really love how that days of the week card looks, and I'm definitely going to keep that in mind for other months or spreads to do that. So what I decided to do for the white pen journaling is journal on this lower right hand picture, so it kind of breaks up the journaling and it's not exactly the same style. And then I'm going to journal in the bottom right corner of the frost photo, so it's a little more vibrant against a darker background as opposed to the lighter background. And I'm really happy. Like, obviously, it's unfortunate that I had to reprint those photos, but I'm really happy that I made that change because uh, having those 2 like white journaling that was in the exact same angle really wasn't sitting well with me. So I'm glad that I made that change. I don't regret having to reprint it at all there. So I'm going to go ahead and fully separate these days of the week with my black pen, and then I'm going to pull over my uh, diary or journal or whatever, and then just write a couple sentences about the main things that happened on each day. Just nothing too intensive, but things like Monday, I was super sick. Wednesday, I had to go back to classes after family day break, and just a really quick overview of kind of what was going on and a nice snapshot of things that I wasn't able to get pictures of. So I really like that card. Um, and I'm happy that I got to include it. And then in this spread, you'll see me work on another journaling card, the 4x6 one. But when I went to take pictures of the layout, I wasn't like it didn't really look good to me with the journaling card. So I actually swapped it out for a different card. So the journaling card that you see, if you're like, hey, that looks bad, I thought so too. So I actually changed it. I think it's because I didn't like there is so much journaling on that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday card, and the white space of the Finding My Way card, it didn't work out for me. So I ended up swapping it to just a filler card, like one of Ali Edwards' promotional cards with a little quote on it, and I really like how that looks a lot better. So I'm trying to find another piece of chipboard I can use to get a 3 circle chipboard continuity, but it's not working in any location. which is unfortunate, but I decided to just leave it. So I stick this one down. It says two of a kind because that's a picture of my boyfriend studying by walking in the hallway, and I do that too. So I thought that went well. And I just do a little bit of journaling in that empty space. And I know a lot of people are scared to write on photos or stamp on photos, but I'm telling you, that is like 90% of my embellishment is writing and stamping on photos. So don't be scared. Like, I think it looks really good and it's simple to do. And I mean, if you mess up like I did, you can always reprint it. You might not want to waste paper, but I think it's not that big of a deal. So I'm gonna write some journaling on here, which is uh, not really viable because I end up getting rid of the card later. But I thought it was gonna work when I did it. So, and now the last thing I want to do is decorate that one middle 3x4 card. So I'm gonna look through my stamp set and I find the tough story kit stamp because that's the day when I was like literally dying of sickness and I literally just stayed on my couch and watched this Overwatch streamer for like 10 hours straight because I was so sick. So I thought tough really went with that quite well. So I go ahead and stamp it in white ink and it's a little not filled in, so I go over it a bit with my white pen, and I don't put it into the pocket right away because I learned from my mistakes. So that's the end of this spread. I love how it turned out. So if you liked it too, please leave a like and a comment, and subscribe to see more videos like this. Thanks.